Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to take just a moment to tack on to what Representative Kamala was talking about, because I was just in the Homeland Security hearing before this, talking about Afghanistan and this very issue about all these Afghan folks who risk their lives in service of our military while in Afghanistan, and all their losing of their temporary protected status benefits. And I would just like to echo her concerns, Mr. Chairman, about how unconscionable it is that we're turning our back on this group of people who risk their lives for our military. And Mr. Secretary, I would love for you to take these concerns that we're having about the fact that you're closing the care office, you're closing the support for this as just a dereliction of the United States duty. It's a breach of promises. It's a breach of agreements. And I share her concerns about what does this do for the U.S. in future conflicts. Have a lot of concerns about that. I wanted to turn just to some general issues about the terminations of so many people. I'm concerned about the fact that were the terminations of all these folks in USAID based on merit? Were they based on length of service? Were they based on reviews? How were you determining who stays and who goes?
Well, thank you for the question, Congresswoman. Everything that happened at USAID happened before my tenure, so I can't speak directly to what occurred there, but it seems to me it was an elimination of function.
And what about ongoing rifts within the State Department? Are those being done based on tenure, reviews, performance, length of service? How are those being evaluated?
Yeah, so the regulations surrounding reductions in force are very prescriptive, and they are personnel, they are person agnostic, they are function specific. So you look at a particular office and what functions you want to retain. If you're merging 2 or 3 offices, which happened over 100 times, we were merging offices, and you say, what functions do we want to retain? And then based on that, if you've got 20 functions you want to retain or 20 positions you want to retain, and you have 100 people in the pool from the 3 offices that are being combined, there's a very prescribed process that is done by OPM, and the State Department actually hired OPM to conduct this process, and they match people based on seniority, based on...
So length of service, performance, those
yeah,
things.
so it's a merit-based process at that point.
Yeah, so I have a constituent in my district, and her annual evaluation form says she's an expert in high demand across the office with the ability to balance numerous competing demands across portfolio and beyond. She is a rock star, a go-to person for technical knowledge, not afraid, and she has over 15 years of service and was terminated. In my opinion, this is a huge disservice to the State Department and to the role. And isn't this the kind of person I would think that you'd want to retain in our foreign service?
Well, sure. I mean, so the process I described does not allow for us to reach in and grab a particular person that we would like to, save from a RIF. It has to be done according to these prescribed regulations in the government that are merit-based and account for all of these other sort of requirements related to the position. And this is sort of what the law calls for, and this is what has been...
Yeah, but there's provisions in the law, though, for you to make sure that the purge is done not based on optics, not based on ideology, but based on performance and the capacity to do the job. And the reality of it is very experienced people are being depleted out of our foreign service at great peril to the United States of America and to our role in security in the world. I'm very concerned. We spent a lot of time talking about USAID, but I'm also very concerned about talking about the Population Refugee Migration Program. I had the opportunity to be in some foreign countries where they were talking about how detrimental all the cuts are that the U.S. had in these programs, and those programs are designed to retain migrants within these home countries, and yet we're cutting all of the employees, the personnel, and the resources to these countries to keep people from illegally entering the United States. That makes absolutely no sense. That seems to be in contradiction to the goals here. But I also want to highlight, this employee that I referenced was doing amazing work in PEPFAR, amazing work in HIV and AIDS to minimize the spread throughout the world, and was doing incredible work in honor of programs set by another Republican president, George Bush. And it's really tragic that this administration has targeting in such a demonic way HIV and AIDS and PEPFAR and its role in saving lives. And with that, I am out of time and I yield back.